They call them the
Fluent and chill, yeah, we call it how it's played. From the field to the court, every legend gets weighed. 4 quarter heat or a 2-minute drill. If you can't handle truth, better chill with the skill. LeBron and MJ, we break that smoke.
Well, the closest thing to perfection, what does that make you?
Stats don't lie, we just let them spill. This is real talk sports, welcome to Fluent and Chill. Fluent and chill, yeah, we call it how it's played. From the field to the court, every legend gets weighed.
Why you got to do that? Why do you have to do that? Yeah.
What am I doing? So what's the problem?
We come on a few minutes before.
Yes, sir.
We talk every day, but
absolutely
about the show in particular, though. We go back and forth with some topics, and then right before the show, we come on and we chit chat a little and say, hey, what's important, what's not important, because sometimes we can't always get to everything.
How about the production meeting, basically?
The production meeting, yeah. And the first thing you say to me, I want to make sure that we talk about the Hall of Fame. Why would you do that to me?
Let's talk about the Hall of Fame, Tone. Let's do it.
It's a Hall of Shame. First of all, it's a Hall of Shame. But before we do that,
yes,
you asked for a new jersey. How do you like it?
I do like that. I like that a lot, Tone. I'm feeling that.
I even got you because I know how I got you a close-up version.
Yeah. I noticed that it's the Laker. I noticed that it's the Laker.
Well,
I did notice that. And
I did throw it in behind our podcast studio. This kind of looks a little bit like that place when we did the live, which we have to do again, by the way, version. And then I gave you a little more casual,
Mm-hmm. I'm liking it. I do like it. Yes,
so I got you covered on every base. I
like it. It looks good.
What's up, Kendrick? How you doing, man? Today, for those that were here last week, you're probably going like, what the hell? We were supposed to start at 9 o'clock. I thought you were going to start at 9 o'clock for 3 weeks, and then you were going to go to the regular 8 o'clock. Well, let's give a little the reason we had to start at 9 o'clock today is because Fluent Jr. Was going to be having his single A baseball tryouts. But when you make double A, you don't have to go to the single A tryouts.
Well, I'm going to the tryouts for it.
Why would you do that?
I don't have to do that. I'm already straight. Check me out.
Why would you go to the G League when you're in the NBA? It makes no sense.
I don't have to do that. No, I don't.
So I got this week off.
Mm-hmm. So for those of you who don't know, if you guys are new here, if you guys don't know, okay, as you see my shirt, it says Fluent and Chill. That's Fluent, my man right there. I'm Chill. This is what we do every Tuesday, 8 o'clock, and we are back in effect. We're getting close to basketball season, but we do have a lot of topics that we're going to go over, a lot of good stuff that we have. Now, I don't know if y'all know this, but my man right here,
oof.
I don't like to get his blood pressure up. I don't. I ain't gonna lie.
I don't believe you.
I don't like to get his blood pressure up. However, let me rephrase that. I don't particularly go toward getting his blood pressure up, even though it's like a big brother who, you mess with your brother sometime. Like, you don't like getting on his nerves, but once in a while it is kind of to nudge him a little bit, right? So we're gonna talk about the Basketball Hall of Fame, which my man over here absolutely loves. Oh, he loves it. He absolutely loves it. So and here we are. Yep, absolutely. Here we are. And as you can see, what it says here, Carmelo Anthony thinks it's time for LeBron James to retire. He's still going. It's unbelievable, man. That's my brother.
Oh, good. Let's start on that. That I like. Okay, that I like.
Absolutely. He's still going. It's unbelievable, man. That's my brother. We talk about being around, being together, being tired, being connected, being talked about since we were 17, 18. And for me to be entering the Hall of Fame, and for him, hopefully, to get his ass out there and come on over this side. Enough is enough. Give it a break. Now, I've always been under the impression, especially considering that basketball, there's a very short window where you have time to be good or great. And then when it's over, it's over. I found that out a long time ago. When you can't play no more, you can't play no more. So I was always under the impression that you do this for as long as you possibly can. Because when you can't do it anymore, you can't do it anymore. So what I don't want to do is I don't want to push him out of the game. But with that being said, there does come a time when, all right, like why am I still here? What am I still doing here? Is there something that I have to prove? Is there something that I'm missing? I mean, when I've been in the league for 23, we're going on year 23, by the way, Tone, and going on year 23, that's 7 times, not almost. Yeah, that's almost 7 times the average pro career. I've outlasted everybody in my draft class. I've outlasted everybody in every draft class up until 2010, by the way. All of them dudes is gone, right? All of them first overall picks, they gone. I'm still here. So the question that needs to be answered is why am I still here? Because it clearly ain't about the money. I got plenty of that. It's not about the accolades. I got plenty of that. It's not about the game, right? Let me rephrase that. It has to be about the game because I'm still playing at a high level. And if I could still play, he isn't Jabbar. Like he isn't Doc. Like when Doc retired, Doc was over. Doc didn't really have anything left. When Jabbar retired, he was over. He didn't really have anything left. I wanted Jay to stick around for one more year, but Jay obviously didn't feel like he could still play at that level, and I understand that. James, on the other hand, I mean, he was on an All-Pro team last year, second team All-Pro. With that being said, it's clear that I could still do it, and I could still do it at a high level. So, what am I still doing here? It has to be the love of the game. That's it. It can't be anything else because I've done everything else. Won championships, made the All-Star team, won the league MVP, been on the Olympic team, all of that other stuff. Made a boatload of money. I'm actually playing with my son. What else is there for me to do? It's just the love of the game.
Well, okay. I'm glad that we're going to talk about this before we talk about the Hall of Shame, the Hall of Shams. LeBron, I told you last year at the beginning of the season. What did I say? Where did he rank? When I told you last season, I said LeBron is the what? Do you remember?
Second best player of all time.
I said the best player in the game.
In the game. I'm sorry.
In the game.
Yes.
In the game. Yes. Yeah. I'm talking about right now.
Today.
I told you last year he was number one, the best player in the game.
You still thought he was the best.
Now, some people will argue and say that, he wasn't blah, blah. Okay, that's fine. You can argue. Was he top 5? Some will argue. Was he top 10? No one will argue. He was a top 10 player in the league. This year, coming into the season, is he still a top 10 player in the NBA? And the answer is yes. Mm-hmm. So when you're an athlete, very few, there's the Barry Sanders of the world. There's some who leave when they can still go.
Mm-hmm.
But for the most part, give me any of your top 5 greatest players in any sport of all time. And I would say you might find me one exception.
Mm-hmm.
Retire too late. You talked about Jordan. You said, Jay, you wish he had one more year. No, I wish Jordan played the 2 years that he was playing baseball. I wish he would have played that shortened season after 98 in 99, where he still had something left. Those 3 years.
So take them 2 years. So take them 2 years that he played in Washington. Keep those and give me the 2 years that he didn't play baseball.
2.5 years, I guess, because it was only a game season. Give me those 3, and you can take back Washington. Washington, let's be very, very clear, because I want to put it out there so that because people, my job is to,
Now you're more fluent.
Make them more fluent.
Mm-hmm.
The only reason he played in Washington wasn't to come back and to win a chip, and it was back in those seasons, the number one source of revenue, because they hadn't signed the big deal yet with ESPN for like $600 million or $6 billion, whatever the hell it was. 600 million. I know exactly what it was. It's 602 million. But anyways, the main amount of money came from ticket sales.
Mm-hmm.
The owner of Washington, that was his only business. He had the Washington Capitals, the hockey team, and the Washington Wizards, the basketball team. That's all. That was his only business. It wasn't.
So he's not an internet dude. He's not an internet dude.
That was his only business. To keep the Wizards, he actually sold his hockey team because the Wizards were 27th in attendance.
Mm-hmm.
27th in attendance.
At the bottom of the league.
At the bottom. So he's losing money. He brings in Jordan as a partner, who's a terrible, let's be very, very clear, a terrible GM. Let's put that out there too. We're being totally honest here. How can we increase ticket sales? Hey, Jay, still love playing? Of course. I go and practice.
I do.
With these dudes. I still go and practice with these dudes, and they suck. And I'll go make them better. I'll smack them into shape, which by 2000 wasn't the way to motivate people. But he goes, but that'll get
him a little bit, sure.
He plays 2 seasons. They go from 27th to 2nd. They go from losing money to making money. Yeah, 27th to 2nd. So now they're making tons of money. And Jordan goes, "Hey, I'm on one leg here. Like it's 40. I'm on one leg, and once you hit
not 25 anymore.
People don't understand. Like when you hit 40, 50, your body like it changes.
Yeah.
So I'm 40. I'm on one leg. I want to focus on the business. That's why I'm here." And the owner goes, "Oh no, we good."
What do you mean we good, Tone? Wait, whoa. Wait a minute. What do you mean we good?
We good because you had to give back all your ownership stake to play because you can't be a player and an owner. I now have that, but you promised you'd give it back to me. Yeah.
That's why I put the jersey on, Tone. What are you doing?
I'd rather make 100% of the money than 50% of the money. Thanks. See you later.
That's
because now he's got the whole team and they're making money. So he says goodbye to Jordan. So that's different. Let's go back to the topic at hand. Excuse me, Mike. LeBron. So if we all agree LeBron is a top 10 player in the league, which he still is today, he loves playing basketball. He doesn't have anything that he can't do while playing basketball. Right? Like he has a media company. He's doing the podcast. He's got, his best buddy who's like an agent, but let's be honest, like he's still making money off that. So he's still making movies. So there's nothing stopping him. Then why not keep playing? Because the second he stops, I hate to say this, you're not going to like this, but the second LeBron stops playing basketball, we're going to stop talking about him a little bit. It's not like Jordan that has the shoes. If you think of every other great, now LeBron, because of the other stuff, we'll still talk about it. But I mean, he's one of those ones where what does he have other than basketball? He wants to play with his kids. Well, guess who's coming out in another year? His other son. So if I'm still a top 10 player, I can do all my other extracurricular activity, my businesses, my movies, my podcasts, whatever, while still playing in LA, where I shoot all that stuff. Why would he stop? And I have a chance to play with both my sons. Why would he stop?
Well,
why would he stop?
Don't leave out the fact that I do play for the Lakers, and playing for the Lakers, I think that my popularity increases even more. I mean, as good as Jordan was, since you brought up Jordan, how much bigger of a deal would Jay have been if he came out of retirement and played for the Knicks? How much bigger of a deal would Jay had been if he came out of retirement and, to your point, played for the Miami Heat or the Lakers or somebody like that? And he would have been a much bigger deal at that point. So James playing for the Lakers, I think this increases his popularity. With him not playing anymore now, Tone, if he decides to retire, because I think that this is it. I think this year, I'd be surprised if he played. I would be surprised if he played 2 more years. I think this is
I'm telling you right now, book it, write it down, take a picture of this, screenshot it. LeBron will play because he's a legacy guy. So let's be clear. He's still chasing ghosts. And let me tell you something. The tables have started to swing. Remember every time they do these surveys and it's always like Jordan 1, LeBron 2, but it was like 70-30. And it was like 65-35, 60-40, 55-45. It's getting closer. He is going to wait till that pendulum turns and all the old guys are dead. And it's only the young kids who are doing the surveys who don't know, right? Weren't alive. Think about it, they weren't alive when Jordan played in Washington. That's how young they are. Once that pendulum swings and he has the majority of the votes, and what number did Jordan come back and play with?
He came back and played with number 23.
No.
Oh, you're talking about 45. Okay, I'm with you.
That's how old he's going to play until.
Wow, I'd be surprised if he played.
Because that's going to be a great narrative. I'm leaving 45.
I think that what we get confused with, Tone, is we get confused with dudes who want to play, who still are playing at a high level, And then those guys who are still playing at a high level, but then decide in the middle of it, you know what? I'm out. I ain't got nothing else. I don't have anything left for this. Bryant did it. You know, I don't think that Bryant
had
wanted
injury.
to retire. Bryant he did, and he knew that the end of the line was coming.
Yeah.
But throughout the course of that year, he found out, you know what? I don't want to do this no more. I think I'm good. It's time for me to hang it up. Elgin Baylor did the same thing in the middle. I think they were in the first 10 games of the season. He decided, I'm out. You know what?
Yeah, he should have stayed. He would have got his ring.
Yeah, I'm good.
Well, technically, he got one, but yeah,
I think it's I still think it's the curse of Elgin Baylor. The fact that he left, it's not a coincidence that the year he left, they end up winning the NBA championship. That is not a coincidence, though. No, it is not. So
I love Elgin Baylor.
I do too. I absolutely love Elgin Baylor. But even still, I want to stay on the track here. That with him playing for as long as he's played and everything that he's done, I'm looking back on my career. I can appreciate the logic that, if I play 2 more years, I could probably get to, I don't know, 44,000 points, and I'll put this thing out of reach. I can get, I don't know about 50. I think that's a lot, Tony, because, well, here's the thing, because to get to 50,000, I ain't even talking about total points. I think he's already to get to 50,000 NBA points, I'd have to play probably 3 more seasons.
What's he at right now? What's he at right now?
He's at 40,000.
No, he's over 40,000.
I think at 40,000, close to 41,000. If he's not at 41,000, he's close to it. So that means, Tone, that playing 3 more years, I'd have to average, because at 9,000 points, that means that I would have to average 3,000, close to 3,000 points a season. Just so you know, Jordan did that in '88, averaging 35 a game, playing 82 games. James isn't doing that. So with that being said, I think that he's in a space where if I can separate myself from the others where it's not close, I could still do that this year. Like, I think this year, if I'm not mistaken, he's gonna be 4th all-time in assists, if not 4th all-time in assists. I think he could pass Jason Kidd for 3rd all-time in assists. He's already got the most games. All of this stuff that he's doing, I think it's primarily because he just still loves the game and still wants to play. There's no reason for me to still be playing if I'm chasing something, because he's done everything else. And it's not going to matter if they won the NBA championship this year. Like, how many people are changing their mind on James? You already know how I feel about him. So championship number 5 is not going to change that, right? Championship number 5 is not going to make me go, see, I told you he's the GOAT. No, that's not going to do that. If he ends up with 42,000 or 43,000 points, if he ends up top 3 all time.
So let's pause there for a second. So he's at 42,184.
Yep.
So how far is 50? It's 7,800 and change.
Yep.
How old is he? Is he 40 this year?
He'll be 41 in December.
41 in December. Okay, so that's 4 more seasons to get to be 45.
Yep.
Where he'll play sometime in 45. Okay, so divided by 4 more seasons is 1954. What's he going to play? 60 games? 65 games?
Knowing him, knowing him. Nah, he'll play 70.
Okay,
because he's still playing
70. Okay, 70. Just coincidentally, if he averages his career average of 27 points per game for 4 more seasons at 70 games, he's at 50,000.
No, unfortunately, no.
Now hold on. Let's maybe the number's 45,000, which is even better. It's only but how far is he away from John Stockton's assists?
Not close. No, he's not close. We need about.
If he could,
he's not
be number 1 in points and assists, then I don't think anyone could say he's not the GOAT.
Mm-hmm.
Because what if I told? Remember, you told me what would it take for me to say he's the GOAT, and I said, well, first he has to retire because I'm not gonna. If I don't rank active players, ain't no way I'm putting an active player at 1. Mm-hmm. That being said, I said it's only time, because he's not going to catch rings. He's not going to catch MVPs. He's not going to get a Defensive Player of the Year award. He's not going to get any of the things that are missing. He's not going to turn back the clock and eliminate all the negatives, which I had someone disappear on me when I questioned them on some negatives. But anyways, he's not going to, but when you're, if he goes from his last real negative, he's going to be playing like 15, 16, 17 years after his biggest, like his last failure. Well,
think about that.
That's like 2 other careers.
Think about that.
You're going to forget, like, 29, 10, 11. Like, all those things will mean nothing if you played 15 years past those or 20 years past those.
Well, think about that, Tone. Like, his biggest failure is 2011. That was 14 years ago. We're going on 15 years.
Yeah.
We're going on 15 years that happened. That's incredible.
That's like saying this. What if he started his career in 2012?
Like, we forget all about that.
Forget everything before. Just start in 2012, and because then you eliminate all those negatives, right? Then you're like, oh damn.
We would have to eliminate all the other stuff. We'd have to eliminate 2 of the league MVPs. We'd have to eliminate points. We'd have to eliminate the all defensive nods. We'd have to eliminate all of that stuff in order for that to happen. But again, I understand Carmelo Anthony, because Carmelo Anthony is like, yo, my man, what you still doing here?
Carmelo's
we're all gone.
Carmelo just wants him to go hit up the banana boat and have fun, and have LeBron and Savannah come join him and Lala. I don't even know if they're still together. Him and Honey Nut Cheerios, and they're not together anymore. Oh, that's a shame. Anymore. How do you leave a woman that tastes like Honey Nut Cheerios? Anyways, even still, sorry for another day. He wants to hang out with his boy.
Yes, and rightfully so.
And rightfully so. But let's be honest. Let's be honest men right now. Honest men.
Yeah.
I'm going to pay you, Chilltown, at your age today, and you're still physically able. I'm going to pay you $40 million to play for the Lakers. And you got nothing else going on.
I'm doing it.
Hell, I was in the draft last year. I'll do it right now.
Yeah.
I'll do it for
I'm 100% doing it. Yes, I'm 100% doing
it. If there's nothing else, right? If you don't love the game anymore,
yeah,
which I don't believe is true. If you're physically unable to do it,
which he's obviously able to do it,
why would you leave the game? Carmelo's just mad. Carmelo's just like, not mad. He's just like, I want to hang out with my boy.
Well, take it a step further than that, Tone. Carmelo, if you could still play today, would you still be playing? 100% you'd still be playing. Dwayne Wade, if you could still play at that level, at second team all-pro level, would you still be playing? Charles Barkley, who doesn't say a lot of stuff a lot of times that's legit, but he said something which still resonates with me today when he said, Tone, we don't quit because we want to. We quit because we can't play no more. And he's right. 100% right. The majority of these guys, not the majority of these guys, 100% of these guys who've quit, they quit because I can't play no more. Carmelo Anthony did not quit because I just don't want to play basketball.
Or no one will let them play anymore.
Right.
There's some situations where it's like you hear people retire and you're like, you haven't gotten an offer in 3 years. Like, I didn't even know you weren't even still you were already retired. You just didn't know it.
Nobody.
Never mind. Then you get a guy like Ben Simmons, but
yeah, nobody's interested in you.
No, he did get an offer, but he's too stupid.
Well, I'm talking about the other dude. Ben Simmons is a little bit different. Now, here's the thing, Tone. Here's the thing that needs to be understood. If James decides after the season, you know what, I'm out. Because like I said, Tone, I don't see him playing past 2 years. I don't. I wouldn't be surprised if he called it after this year. But is it ridiculous for me to think that him early on in the season looks around and goes, I don't want to do this no more. I just don't want to play basketball anymore. Is it ridiculous for me to think that when I've seen guys in the past, right before the season or right in the beginning of the season, even if it's not for injury, decide, you know what, I don't want to do this anymore. Isaiah Thomas is a prime example of that, Tone. The guy tore his Achilles, even with tearing his Achilles, that season, going into the season, he was leaning toward retiring. He had made that clear that, you know what, I'm not sure if I want to keep playing. Not because I can't play. I just don't want to play no more. I don't. I just don't want to play anymore. And I feel like James, at the level that he's still playing at, I think that he still wants to play. But it could come a point where, you know what, I just don't want to play anymore. There's really nothing else. I'm going home. That's really what it is in the end. I'm going home. That's not ridiculous. That's not ridiculous to say that.
It's clear that he can, and people are confusing, right? I'm reading some of the comments. People are confusing can play, wants to play.
Yes.
right? Because he still can play. You're saying you don't know if he wants to play, but what I'm saying is I could see if you're this close to playing with your second son.
I gotta hang on.
Right. You're this close to being number 2 or whatever in assists. You do it. You do it because the one thing you have to admit, like I know people don't like to admit this, but he completely is aware of his legacy. He is. And if he's first in points, second in assists, 40, let's call it 45,000. Okay, not 50. Okay, 45,000 regular season points. You know, he's going to be on the Lakers more than any other stretch with one team in a row, right? And I've played with Bronny. I got him a job. I'm going to play with Bryce and get him a job. Why leave? Why leave? And then Goat James Kingdom will have nothing to do. They'll have to retire too.
He's 500. He's, as of today, Tone, he's 507 assists. He's 507 assists. 17, I'm sorry, not 7. 517 assists behind Jason Kidd for third all time.
Yeah, he'll catch that.
Yeah, not 17, 7. I'm sorry, 507 assists behind Jason Kidd all time for third all time. I think if he doesn't do that this season,
that's right? 7 a year. That's 7 a year.
Yeah, and if he doesn't do that this season, he's definitely going to do it if he decides to play a year after that.
I think that's the year. I think he plays this season because next season Bryce comes in, right?
Yeah, I think next season. I can tell you what, Tony, if he plays 2 more years, he's going to pass Chris Paul for second all time in assists.
Yeah,
he's not catching Stockton. He's not.
No, he's not going to catch him. But so there you go. So he's going to be. I think you're. Let's go with that. I think you're right. 2 more years. He'll catch. He'll be second in assists, first in points by a mile. And he would have gotten to play with not only. Just imagine someone who's trying to catch up to him, right? Just think about it. It took 38 years for someone to catch Kareem.
Yeah,
it's going to be like 60 years and a 4-point line.
Yeah,
before someone catches LeBron, and no one's playing with both their kids.
Nobody. I've never seen that before. No,
I've
never seen that before. But Tone, is it ridiculous to think? Is it ridiculous to think? And I was thinking about this too, because Bryce doesn't really strike me like Bronny does. Bronny strikes me as the kind of guy that, I got to do what Pop said. I'm the oldest. I'm the standard. If Pops would have told him to go back to school, he would have went back to school. Pops told him to come out, right? So with Pops telling him to come out, he came out. Is it ridiculous for me to think that Bryce, not rebellious, but more of a independent thinker, like, you know what, Dad, maybe I'm not ready for this. Maybe I'm not prepared for this. And
yeah, I don't care. You're coming. I don't care. You're coming. All right. So let's go to let's get my blood boiling a little bit here. So he wants him to retire. I think we've established there's no need for him to retire.
Yeah.
But there is a lot of talk about this Hall of Fame. And LeBron and Chris Paul, the first 2 guys ever to be inducted into the Hall of Fame, while still active.
Yep.
They're not in the Hall of Fame. Because I think you said that too.
No, they're not in the Hall of Fame. Their team is in the Hall of Fame.
Their team is in the Hall of Fame. Thank you.
Yeah,
their team is in the Hall of Fame. Because I had one of these guys who's like, LeBron's in the Hall of Fame already. He's the GOAT. I said, okay, that means that he had an all-star center and a Hall of Fame power forward and couldn't make the playoffs. What are you talking about? Carlos Boozer's on that team. He's in the Hall of Fame, yeah? They went real quiet after that.
Crickets. That's what it was.
I don't like the Hall of Fame, and I know it's not the NBA Hall of Fame.
Yes,
I know. See, here you go. Look. Here you go. See, he's in the Hall of Fame.
No, he's a part of it. So if he's in the Hall of Fame,
he's in the Hall of Fame.
Yes, because Christian Laettner is in the Hall of Fame. Then, if that's the case, right? So I guess Christian Laettner is in the Hall of Fame. So their team is in the Hall of Fame. With their team being in the Hall of Fame, let's not make it sound like individually I'm in the Hall of Fame for I'm in the Hall of Fame for being a part of a great team. That's what I'm in the Hall of Fame for.
Now he'll be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, now he will be in the Hall of Fame eventually. Like when he decides
Carlos
to retire.
Boozer will not.
Carlos Boozer is not a Hall of Famer. No, he is not. Michael Redd is not going to the Hall of Fame. Tayshaun Prince is not going to the Hall of Fame. No, he is not. That's just not true.
Because if you want to see that, he played with half of those guys on that team in the NBA.
Yes.
Just to be 4-6 in the finals.
Man, I ain't doing that. No, I'm not. No, I ain't getting into that.
I don't like the Hall of Fame doing what they do, which is putting in lackluster players. For putting in, listen, if they're going to put teams in, that's fine.
Yeah.
Do it after. But again, we need an NBA Hall of Fame because this obviously it's Team USA, so it's not for NBA, it's for Olympics. It drives me nuts because now, if you're to keep it consistent, okay, because we got to stay consistent. If LeBron James is in the Hall of Fame and Chris Paul is in the Hall of Fame, then Carlos Boozer, Michael Redd, Tayshaun Prince, Christian Laettner, all those guys are now Hall of Famers. And that is a slap in the face. And that, if that's what you're going to say, then it is a slap in the face to the Hall of Fame because those guys have no business being in the Hall of Fame. None.
Well, again, because with that being said,
then your Hall of Fame is Hall of Sham. There you go. They're all in. Here. Look, your boy says they're all in. Okay, then it's a sham.
No. Because we can recognize great teams like the Dream Team in 1992. We can recognize those guys, and by the way, all of those guys are in the Hall of Fame. Chris Mullin is in the Hall of Fame. John Stockton is in the Hall of Fame. Clyde Drexler is in the Hall of Fame. All of those guys are in the Hall of Fame. This team, the Redeem Team, all of those guys are not getting in the Hall of Fame. They're in the Hall of Fame based on them being a part of this team. So if we have, I don't know, let's say that the Golden State Warriors won the NBA championship in 2016 and they were 73-9, and the Basketball Hall of Fame decided to put that team in the Hall of Fame for what they had done, being 73-9 and winning the NBA championship. Sean Livingston is a Hall of Famer? Is that what I'm understanding? Kevon Looney is a Hall of Famer?
According to your friends' comments, yes.
Now, I do think that we can recognize individuals being part of a team. That's what we are recognizing them for. Michael Redd didn't play that much for that Team USA, but he was a part of the team. That's why he's in the Hall of Fame, because I'm part of this team. And I think that that's great. I'm not gonna dishonor Michael Redd being in the Hall of Fame as a member of Team USA in 2008. I'm not gonna discredit Tayshaun Prince for being a member of Team USA in 2008. No, I'm not gonna do that. No, these guys are in the Hall of Fame, but as a member of Team USA. And I think that's great. That's a great honor for them. But here's my issue, Tone. My issue, Tone, is the guys that we have the guys that we've just not just the guys, let me rephrase that. The people that just got inducted into the Basketball Hall of Fame. For example, Carmelo Anthony. I think what he did is well deserved to start, right? To start. We're talking about the Basketball Hall of Fame. Remember, Tone, over the 5,000 players, and I do this with you consistently, of the 5,000 players who have played in the NBA, we've got over 170. So with 170 players being in the Hall of Fame, that's 3% of the total players that have played in the NBA that are in the Hall of Fame. That means that I'm in the 97th percentile, which is pretty amazing. So Carmelo Anthony, who will start with him being the best player as a freshman on my team at Syracuse, and we win the national championship, which, Tone, you were around during this time, as a freshman playing on a team that wins the national championship was unheard of. The Fab Five did it, and they couldn't get it done. They had 5 of them, and they couldn't get it done. We got this guy 10 years later. He's, as a freshman, he gets it done, and he's the best player. He was the best player in the tournament. And I don't think that I'm reaching when I say that he was the best player in the tournament. Not just the best player on that Syracuse team. He was the best player in the tournament. That's starting there. So the winning starts there. Then we move into the NBA, where I'm one of the best bucket getters. I'm one of the best bucket getters in the game. I mean, he scored over 28,000 points for his career in the NBA, and it wasn't just empty. I was in the playoffs for 10 straight years. Being in the playoffs for 10 straight years, for me, that matters. I think that that's a pretty big deal, right? Being in the playoffs for 10 straight years means that I was playing at a high level, which during that time, from 2003 to 2010, that is the Western Conference, which was a nightmare. With that being a nightmare, Tone, I did the same thing that Alex English did. Don't forget, Tone. Alex English Alex English averaged 26 a game for the entire decade. Yes, from 1980, he scored the most points in the entire decade. Nobody can say that they did that. That's what Carmelo Anthony did. Then he moves on to New York and is still one of the best, if not the best, bucket getter in the game. KD's running around. Kevin Durant's running around. James running around. Dirk Nowitzki, Bryant. I mean, guys like this are running around. James Harden shows up. He becomes what he becomes. With all of that being said, he has maintained a level of consistency as a bucket getter because that's what I'm famous for. Then on top of that, I'm the most decorated USA men's basketball player of all of them. When I played, I was the most decorated. Nobody had done what I had done while I was there. So when you're talking about a guy who I was an all-pro 6 times, I made the all-star team 10 times. In addition to me making an all-star team 10 times, I was on a team. My team made the playoffs 10 straight years. We weren't good enough to win the NBA championship because it takes a lot to win the NBA championship. But I was good enough to get to the conference finals. I was good enough to get our team to the conference semifinals and go deep in the playoffs. We did do that. Well, I'm the best player on my college basketball team that won the national championship, and I did it as a freshman. It didn't take 4 years to do it like some other guys. With all of that being said, me being a first ballot Hall of Famer, I think that that's warranted for him. I don't think it's a question.
Okay. I'm
Absolutely.
I'm not gonna argue with because if it's the Basketball Hall of Fame. I've forever and a day said we need a professional basketball Hall of Fame or an NBA Hall of Fame. No, even professional Hall of Fame, and eliminate the college stuff and the other stuff.
Yeah.
Because that kind of muddy and the Olympics, because that muddies the water. It makes the pool really big. And I think the professional guys who play at a higher level than anybody else deserve to be more recognized. Just quickly on the team thing, the Hall of Fame is about individuals. Even though it's a team sport, it's about individuals. So I don't like teams. I don't like the 92 Dream Team. I said this at the time. I don't like the 92 Dream Team being in the Hall of Fame. I don't like the 2024. I don't like the Globetrotters. I love the Globetrotters. One of my friends, Cheese Brawley, plays on the Globetrotters. I don't think they should be in the Basketball Hall of Fame. Now, hold on, let me rephrase. Be in the Hall of Fame, where they have a representation and they talk about them and stuff. Sure. I mean, inducted into. I don't think fans. Nav Bhatia is, he's my son gets to wear his championship ring from the Raptors. He's a fan. He shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame. But that's just me. I know that's just me. So I think there should be a professional Hall of Fame. Carmelo Anthony should be in this Hall of Fame because, Vince Carter's in it. Tracy McGrady's in it. Bill Bradley's in it. So there's absolutely no reason why Carmelo Anthony shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame. He should be in the Hall of Fame. But that's my problem, is because we've lowered the standard on so many things, there's no way you can argue all these guys that are coming should be in because all those other guys got in before them.
Well, that's what I want to ask you, Tone, because, again, this is where we are with the Basketball Hall of Fame because, like I said, your standards are a little bit different. So let's turn.
Well, let's be clear. My standards are higher, but also because I want a professional Hall of Fame that's different.
Well, that's where I'm going. That's exactly where I'm going. So, Tone, what I want to do is I want to take the word Basketball Hall of Fame out, and I want to put in Pro Basketball Hall of Fame. That's what I want to do. I want to put
every other sport.
Everything that you did outside of the pro game doesn't matter. If I'm putting Pro Basketball Hall of Fame and what you did, what's your criteria, Tone? Like what gets me in the Hall of Fame?
There needs to be.
Wait. Before you answer that question, let me rephrase the question, Tone. What's your criteria? What's your criteria for us to have a conversation about me getting in? Not me getting in. How does the conversation start between us when we're talking about Hall of Fame?
There needs to be a certain level of longevity. So you can't just be in the league for 2 years and done. I think I always say 7, 8. I prefer 10, but again, depending on eras, because there's certain eras where if you played 7 or 8 years, that was considered really long, right? Like the average player, if you go back 30 years, the average player played 3 years. Now the average player plays 5. So that'll shift. But so somewhere in that 8 to 12 range, I'd like that you've had some longevity. In terms of longevity, it can't just be that you played in the league. I don't want you to be I can't remember the name of my worst of all time. I don't know why I'm drawing a blank on his name, but he
So
was
just
a guy.
because you just because
Yeah,
you're
he
here,
played
that
for
doesn't
10
mean
years.
no.
He played for 10 years and
No,
averaged
that doesn't work.
more turnovers and fouls than points and assists. Right? Okay.
Yeah, that
Like,
doesn't work.
that guy, I'm sorry. I wish I could remember his name, but anyway. So there has to be some longevity. You have to be one of the best, one of the greatest players for your era. Because I can't compare you to other eras. I can only compare you to who you played against.
I
So
played from 2012 to 2000. I played from 2002 to 2015. That's it.
Sure.
Okay.
And you have to be like, not that it's only about accolades, because but you have to be an all NBA caliber player. Let me explain it more simply. Actually, let me explain it more simply.
No, I'm following you, Tone. I am. I'm 100% following. Because
No,
when you say I'm an all NBA caliber player, I just want to make sure I'm following you, Tone.
Yeah.
Because when you say that I'm an all NBA caliber player, that doesn't mean that I got to make the all pro team every year.
Correct.
But I got to be playing at that level
every year, but you're in that conversation, right?
Okay.
Because I look at the Hall of Fame, like you guys, I get it, because the word fame is in it, and you're like, what made you famous? And I'm like, I look at it as it's a way of saying you were the greatest. So I rank players in this way. You're an NBA player, which automatically means you're good, right? Like, there's no bad players. Like, the worst NBA player is better than you. So you're a good player. Then you're above average. Then you're an all-star. Then you're an all-pro, all NBA, right? Then you're a star, superstar, Hall of Fame. So you have to have superstar years, either a ton of star years or like multiple superstar level years, because I believe there isn't 30 superstars, not one on every team. I think there's, at any given moment, 3 to 5 superstars in the league. There are, however, this is why I say star. There are, however, probably another 5 that have superstar potential. But again, you don't also have to be a superstar every year, right? I say this all the time because we argue about this about, once you're a superstar, you're always a superstar. And I'm like, I'm talking about playing like a superstar, not being a superstar. Michael Jordan was a superstar, not in Washington.
He still was. He might not have been playing at the. He might not have been playing at the level.
That's
he
what
might
I'm
not have been playing at the level.
That's the distinction I'm talking
about.
That's the distinction I'm making. That's the
like guys like Steph Curry. Steph Curry will always be a superstar. He will always be that.
Hakeem Olajuwon was a superstar. He wasn't in Toronto.
No, he wasn't.
Right? So that's what I'm saying is you can still be a superstar and not every season play like a superstar. So that's why I say you either have to have a ton of star with superstar potential seasons, or just have multiple superstar years, right? And if you've done that, that gets you into the conversation. That doesn't mean you're a lock. That gets you into the conversation.
So with everything that you just said, all right, Tone, if I'm Carmelo Anthony, you like the longevity. All right, so I played 17 years in the league. I'm sorry, I played 19 years in the league. Of those 19 years in the league, for 14 of them, I was awesome. From 2003 to 2016, 17, I was awesome, right? So I got the longevity. I had a stretch for 7 years where I averaged 26 a game. Not many other guys were doing that. I led the league in scoring. I did that. I made the all-pro team 6 times. That's more than half the decade, which means that I was playing at that level. If I didn't make the all-pro team, I was playing at that level for at minimum a decade. I never made first team all-pro, but I was second and third team all-pro for more than half the decade. So I got the longevity thing down. In terms of me being in terms of what I was famous for, I was an elite scorer. And I did that for a long time. So the longevity is there. Me being famous for me being a bucket getter, that was there. I didn't win as much as you would like me to win. I was definitely a superstar. And what I mean when I say a superstar, I was taking my team deep in the playoffs. We were getting to the playoffs primarily off the strength of me. I was very influential when it comes to the game. Now, a lot of people will say, well, how did Carmelo Anthony influence people? You sat in front of the TV and sit there. I don't mean you specifically, Tone, but sit there and tell me that when Carmelo Anthony, in his heyday, I'm going to say from about 2005 to 2000, probably 15, 16, when he was with the Knicks, sit there and tell me that you were not watching Carmelo Anthony when he was on TV. That's being influential. You were watching him. You might not have dug his game. You might not have appreciated how good he was as a one-on-one player. You might have thought he was selfish, but I can tell you right now, he was box office. So you cared about him. So I was influential in that aspect. In terms of production, I produced over 28,000 points in my career. That's good enough for 10th all time, Tone. There are only 9 guys in NBA history who scored more points than I scored. So when you put together the longevity, when you put together the production, when you put together the accolades, and to your point, in terms of your criteria, I should be in the Hall of Fame.
Carmelo would be in the conversation. I don't think he's an automatic. I don't think he's an automatic first ballot Hall of Famer for pro Hall of Fame.
Pro basketball. We ain't talking about college. We ain't talking about the Olympics. We just talking about pro basketball.
I don't think he's a lock for the simple fact that part of the superstar part of this now, because you say box office, and well, we watch a lot of bad. Like we watch a lot, not bad, but we watch a lot of players who, we watch because they're Vince Carter. Every time he played, you watched, but he didn't play like a superstar Hall of Fame player for the majority of his career. But we watched. He was very influential. He motivated an entire country.
That box check, though. Yeah, he
didn't check the other boxes. With Carmelo, there's a superstar, criteria where he lacks the ability or the team. Listen, it is a team game. And sometimes it's unlucky the teams that you're on. Sometimes you're lucky. Was he a leader of championship caliber teams? Not once or twice. Yeah, not once or twice. Was he consistently a leader of championship caliber teams?
Well, the question has to be that's not a simple question to answer, Tone, off the strength that the reason why it's not a simple question to answer is because how many championship level teams were put around me? That's the question.
I said part of that is luck. Part of that is luck.
Part of that is
and you know what? That's too bad, right? Like if I was born. Instead of being born in the 50s, if I was born now with my 3-point shooting, I would be a much more wanted player than back then. You're like, well, who cares? This kid could sit outside and shoot threes. Big deal.
If you're 17 years old coming out of high school today, Tone,
I'm highly.
What are your? I was about to say, what do your offers look like today? If you're 17 years old,
I got a lot more offers.
Yes,
right, because I do what they look for. But then it's like, what am I going to do with you? You shoot threes? Yeah. Cool. Wow.
That's perfect.
They said, who cares? You can get 2 shots a game. You're going to make one of them. You're going to average 3 points a game. What are you doing for me? Now, no, I'm going to shoot 10 a game. I'm going to hit 5. I'm going to average 15 and you're going to love me. Oh, okay.
And you're going to sign a contract for $55 million over 3 years. And you're going to sign another contract after that one goes. You're going to sign another one for $45 million. Then you're going to sign another one after that goes for another $40 million. And then you're going to make over $200 million in your career. Why? Because I'm a long ball shooter. That's what I am. So with that being said, Carmelo Anthony, okay, he's in the conversation. Is Dwight Howard? Can we have a conversation about him? The reason why I'm asking you that, Tone, is because it sounds to me, Tone, like I'm in the dating pool, and I look at her resume, and I'm like, let me call you back. I ain't saying no. I'm saying, let me call you back because I think I may see some other resumes that are interesting.
I ain't
saying that I'm not going to go out.
I believe when if you take fandom away and just look at who are the top, like you can pick any 10-year stretch and you'll see, there's a guy that pops into the all NBA team once or twice, but you look at the guys who in that 10-year span are there 5, 6, 7 times. I start with them. And then I'm like, okay, of those, who are the ones that had the most impact in the game? Who are the ones that, were on? Look, I'm sorry. This might hurt everybody's feelings, but if you're on a shitty team putting up stats, that doesn't move me. It doesn't move me because, and again, maybe that's to your point. That's unlucky. You got drafted by a bad team or you had bad ownership. Okay. But let's be honest. Let's be honest for a minute. We'll take who you say is the greatest. I say is the second greatest player of all time. If he stays in Cleveland and only ever gets to 2 or 3 more chips and only ever wins 1, maybe 2, are we having a conversation about him being the greatest player ever?
No.
Answer is no. No matter how many stats he puts up, if he stays in Cleveland his entire career and they go like I still think they go to 2 or 3 more, eventually they'll put somebody around him. But that organization, and without him leaving, they don't get all that draft capital. They don't get all this stuff. So if he's So he wins 2. He goes to 4. They'll say he was great.
No.
They'll say he was great, but no, there's no debate. The debate's gone. So that matters. It does matter. Now, I'm not saying you have to win a championship to be in the Hall of Fame. I'm not, because Charles Barkley's a great example. But you got to be like, if you're not gonna have, MVPs and Finals MVPs and scoring championships and whatever Defensive Player of the Year awards, and you better have a ton of All NBAs. You better be like an All-Star should be an automatic. It should be even though it's a popularity contest, it is fame. That should be an automatic. So again, I'm not saying no, but I'm saying these guys like Carmelo, Dwight, Vince, Tracy, all great skilled players. But to be again, the way I look at it, which is, I'll forget the bottom half for a second, All-Star, All NBA, Star, Superstar, Hall of Fame, to work your way up that ladder, you can't skip steps. For me.
So with that, and I can definitely appreciate that, because it sounds to me like, Tone, if you looked at John Stockton's resume and you saw, before you even go through all of the stuff that he did, when you look at his resume and it says, I made the All-Pro team 11 times. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's talk. I'll talk to him, because that means that at minimum, a decade he was playing at this level. At minimum.
And you add in, I'm the all-time leader in 2 categories.
Yes.
Like Steph Curry, take away Steph Curry's championships. Take them away. I'm the all-time leader in 3-pointers made and the greatest shooter, period, ever. You're in the Hall of Fame. You're in like, he's been an All-Pro multiple times, he's done all that other stuff, but like, you did something that was extraordinary. You're in. Like, I don't think that's and I'm taking away the chips and saying he's in. So that's what I'm saying. You don't have to necessarily win them, but if you're not even close, you got to do a bunch of other stuff,
and it's got to be pretty dramatic.
What did Melo do that moved you, that you were like, I can't not have him in the Hall of Fame? Like, if Carmelo didn't exist, if I snap my fingers like Thanos and he disappeared from NBA history, would he be missed?
Well, if he didn't exist, then we would know who he is. But I think I think it's
you keep your memory. You keep your memory, and everybody else is like. Could you talk basketball every single day and never bring up Melo?
No, I don't think so.
I the reason why I never bring up Melo.
The reason why I can't talk basketball and not bring up Carmelo Anthony is because of the era that he played in, which was the golden age of the small forward era, with James, with Kevin Durant, with Kawhi Leonard, with Kevin Durant, James, Kawhi Leonard, him, Paul George. He was amongst the greats of that era.
He's not even top 3 at his position for his time.
Well,
he's not.
Here's the thing, though.
In his position for his time.
But
you just said that out of your mouth. So how can you a Hall of Famer if you're not?
So here's the thing. I didn't bring that up to say that.
I know you didn't
in order. But what I'm saying is, when I bring him up, I think about that era. Maybe not top 3. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, that's true, that it's not top 3. All right, let's just say for the sake of argument that's true. However, what was he that was extraordinary? To your point, when you talk about Steph Curry being the greatest shooter of all time, right? We talk about Steph Curry having as many threes as he's had. I mean, I don't think it's 10 players in the history of the game at the small forward spot better than him. I don't think I could definitively say that. I mean, I think I can have a conversation when we get on the back end, like 8, 9, 10. Now, when we're talking about the small forward position, which is one of the best positions in NBA history, Carmelo Anthony, he checks the boxes. The fact that he didn't win, and the fact that he was such an extraordinary scorer, because again, Tone, I scored 28,000 points, and we got robbed 2 years of him not scoring, which means that I would have gotten 30,000 points out of him, which is completely.
I don't want to talk about would have happened,
but he didn't, right? But he didn't do that. What he did do, however, was he 100% scored at a high rate. He's one of the best bucket getters that I've ever seen. So if I'm talking basketball and I'm talking about guys, just like I would talk about Adrian Dantley, just like I would talk about Tracy McGrady, I would bring up Carmelo Anthony specifically because of that.
Yeah, and I wouldn't have those guys in the Hall of Fame. And let me do this, and then the super chat. By Fluent's logic, that means guys like Bill Walton not in the Hall of Fame. 100%.
He doesn't have them.
I don't have him in the Hall of Fame. I don't even have him top 75 because he had a 2-3 year stretch. Sorry, not enough. Because longevity is important too. You have to be great for more than Jeremy Lin had a really great 2 weeks. Cool. 3 seasons of greatness isn't enough. Captain, thanks for doubling up on your super chat. You forgot to put in the comment the first time, so we appreciate you, brother. Does DeMar DeRozan and his 12 straight 20-point seasons make it?
Yeah, and the reason why is because those 12 straight 20-point seasons added up to over 25,000 points in NBA history, which is pretty extraordinary for a guard to score over 25,000 points, and that's DeMar DeRozan. So I played for a long period of time. No, he wasn't Kobe Bryant good. No, he wasn't. When we talk about the pantheon of two guards, no, he wasn't Jordan good. He wasn't Kobe Bryant good. He wasn't Dwayne Wade good, right? He wasn't Allen Iverson good. But I can tell you what he was. Just like Carmelo Anthony, he was definitely a bucket getter. And with him being a bucket getter, it led to him being one of the best bucket getters in NBA history. So, yes, to answer your question, those 12 straight 20-point seasons, I don't think that there's many guys who could say, I averaged 20 a game for 12 straight years. There's not many guys who can say that they've done that. Yes.
If I play 16 years and I make an All-NBA team 3 times,
that's it.
All-Star 6 times, it tells me that I had a nice little run for a short period of time. And no, by my criteria for the Pro Basketball Hall of Fame that doesn't exist, no, his 12 straight seasons of 20 plus points does not get him into the Hall of Fame.
Do we have to? Do we have to? Here's my question: do we have to? When we talk about first ballot, second ballot, at what point do we cut it off? Like
that I think it's a little baseball analogy. I think 3 strikes and you're out.
So after the third time, because again, so my numbers don't change when I come up to bat the second time. Okay, and
the only thing that does change, and this is why I hate some other leagues where they bring in guys like 50 years after, is who happens to be on that ballot. So sometimes you get unlucky where there's a ballot where there's like, oh man, all these guys retired at the same time. Now I got to deal with that. I'm screwed. Yep. Other times you're like, oh, they ain't nobody good. I'm going to get on. And they have to put somebody, which I disagree. If there's nobody that's worthy, then I'm sorry. You're not having a Hall of Fame. Nobody gets in. That's okay. Right. That's okay. It actually show that it's more exclusive. And I actually like the idea of, so I would say the first ballot for me is however many people there are, 12 or 15. And I wish I was on one of them because I could be the person that does this. Because I'd screw it up for everybody. The first ballot, you have to be unanimous. If there's 15 voters, all 15 have to say yes to you. Second time,
90% of the votes aren't good enough, Tom?
100% unanimous to be a first ballot Hall of Famer, because what that means to be a first ballot Hall of Famer has to, for me, in this fictitious pro basketball Hall of Fame, is it has to be a no-brainer. No question that person is in. That's what a first ballot means in our that we're going to create, is that you're in. Second time around the next year, or maybe it's every other year. I don't know. We'll figure out the details when we create the building. Second time that you voted in, that number could be like 75 or 60 or whatever. And anything. And then the third try, all you have to do is get over 50%.
What now? Stay right there.
Get over 50. So if the majority picks you, you go in. But let's be clear. My Hall of Fame has 3 floors. And the first ballot Hall of Famers are on the top floor. And the second ballot Hall of Famers are on the second floor. And the third ballot and concession stands are on the third floor.
Which I was about to ask you, Tone, because again, you're talking about the first, second. Now, once I'm not
in team, sure.
So if I'm not unanimous, I get 90% of the votes on the first ballot. How long do I have to wait? Because the next year, does that mean that I get on? Does that mean that I'm on the ballot the next year, or do I have to wait 2 years? Do I have to wait 3 years? Because again, we got people who got better numbers than me. We got people who got better resumes than me. Do I go to the back of the line? Do I stay where I'm at? How does that work?
I think every year there is the eligible first ballot, eligible second ballot, eligible third ballot. So you can go 1, 2, 3 years in a row.
Okay. And after the third year, if I don't get in, bye.
Listen, if you don't get in after 3 votes, and if someone's got to convince you that I'm a Hall of Famer, I'm not a Hall of Famer. If I have to convince you that I'm a Hall of Famer, you're not a Hall of Famer. In this elite pro basketball Hall of Fame, not in the one that's actually out there. You offered me, what did you offer me? $50 million a year to shoot threes?
55, actually.
Oh, awesome. Speaking of bad contracts.
Oh my God.
4 years, $100 million for Josh Giddey, who they traded a player that helped the team win a championship for. You have been telling me he is their point guard of the future.
Yes, I've
been telling you he's their pedophile of the present. So why do you believe he can lead the Bulls out of mediocrity?
Okay, so number one.
Or are you saying they want to just stay in mediocrity and that's why they're signing him?
I don't think that they want to stay in mediocrity. I think that they have their foundation with this guy as their lead guard. 6'8". His efficiency has gotten a lot better. I think he shoots almost 47% from the floor for his career. He shot almost 38% last year at the long ball line, shoots almost 80% at the stripe. And the most important part of this with this guy, he's 22 years old. He's 22 years old, Tone. So that's a year younger than Cade Cunningham, and it's around the same age as Amen Thompson. So I have my foundation right here. He's one of the better distributors, one of the better young distributors in the game. I think he gets downhill at 6'8" with some of the best guards in the game. I think he finishes around the rim also. And I think that there's so much more room with him for improvement off the strength of him being so young. And when you have your foundation lead guard and you got somebody to build around, now you have now we got a plan because we got this guy. He gives me now stability. So at 22 years old, I got an elite distributor. At 22 years old, I got a guy who can score the basketball. At 22 years old, I got a big guard who can rebound the basketball, and I can build around this guy. So now what I got to do is I got to go find myself a 2 guard. I got to go find myself a 2 guard who can score the basketball. In the process of finding myself a 2 guard who can score the basketball, construct this offense around these 2 guys. I'm starting it with him, construct it around them. I want to get off of Vooch, because getting off of Vooch for me means that we're starting over. The era of Josh Giddey.
Isn't he retiring?
No, Vooch. No, he's retiring from the Eurobasket.
Oh, from
European, from
international. He should retire from NBA too. Anyways,
he's not retiring from the NBA. He's retiring from. He's not retiring from the NBA. He's retiring from.
I was saying what he should. I was saying what he should.
Yeah,
do.
Absolutely, and I understand you. I get that, no doubt. Here's the thing, Tone. I think that when you have a guy, when you have a guy this young and with this much potential moving forward, we get so wrapped up in a guy being so awesome so early that when we're developing him and he's turning into what I think he's going to turn into, because I think Josh Giddey's going to be the most improved player. Don't forget, he averaged almost a triple-double last season after the All-Star break. I think he's going to do that this season for the entire season. I think I'm going to get something like 18, 9, and 8. I think I'm going to get something along those lines on really good efficiency. I think the Bulls are going to be they're going to be like what you said, Tone. I think they're going to be a mid-team. I think they're going to be anywhere between 7, 8, 9. But that's largely due to, I feel like, the Bulls organization now having Josh Giddey and now building around him. That's the most important part. Getting your set. They got Bacelis, who I really like this kid. In addition to Bacelis, they got the French kid, which he's also going to be helpful. Now you get yourself a shooting guard who can score the basketball, and I think he's in college. I don't think it's in free agency. I think that guy's in college, and I think that you build around them. And this contract, Tone, because you know how I feel about Josh Giddey in terms of his production, how much better he's going to get. This $25 million, I think it's going to be outdated in 2 years. I think it's going to be outdated.
Yeah, I think it's already outdated. It's a $25 million, as crazy as it sounds, because you hear the word $100 million and you go, $25 million a year.
They got him on the cheap. I do.
Yeah,
I think that they got him on the cheap. And
for
for
your
the
starting
production,
point guard, even for a team that, let's be honest, has been in the play-in, will stay in the play-in, $25 million isn't. I know people.
That's not a lot of money.
It's not a lot of money in
this
environment.
NBA climate. It's not. It's not a lot of money in this NBA climate, and because it's not a lot of money, and again, because I have a guy who's playing in a major market in Chicago, and I don't think if we draft correctly, it's going to be that hard in terms of consistency. Like if we can get if we can get the right management in here and get the right players and get it right, in terms of drafting a 2-guard. I think you got it right with Baselis. I think you got it right trading for Josh Giddey. I think you got it right with this French kid. I'm good on Pat Williams, and I'm also good on Kobe White too. I think that you can do better with. I think you can do better. I think that if you can get something along the lines of Zach LaVine, and I don't mean Zach LaVine specifically, but something like that to play with Josh Giddey, a 6'5", 6'6", 2-guard that's a bucket getter that can defend. I think that puts you in position to be even better, especially if you're younger. I really like this kid, Tone, and I like the fact that the Bulls have made this guy their foundation because, again, I can't reiterate this enough. Him at $25 million, this contract's going to be outdated in two years tops. I know how you feel about it being right now, but 2 years tops, I think this contract's going to be outdated.
No, I'm gonna give you some more. What I'm hearing you say is Josh Giddey's a guy that like moves like he's 6'1", 6'2", but he's actually 6'7". Okay, sorry. The kids understand what I did there. But anyways, listen, there's what, 400-500 players in the NBA, right?
450.
All right. $25 million a season ranks him around 70, the top 75. That's 75th highest paid. That for your starting point guard, right? When you look at, Nick Claxton, Fred VanVleet, Bridges, the one on Charlotte, Murphy, those are the guys making 25 mil. So it's not crazy to sign a guy, right? Because when you look at those other guys, they're all getting raises, up into 27, 28, 29 million. So 25 mil in 2 years, you're right. It's not crazy money.
I think it's going to be a little bit of money, Tone. If you think about what Brunson did,
especially if I may, because the salary cap is about to take a big jump too when the new deal pops in. So 25 million is actually a good deal. So I'm not mad at that. I just don't necessarily like him as a player. But anyways, let's get to a couple of super chats because there's some good ones. All right. So this is a good one. Name a top 10 leader in points, not in the Hall of Fame other than KD. There isn't one. However, I understand why you're saying that. It's because you're saying Carmelo's a top 10 scorer. However, let's go through that list. So you also missed LeBron.
James.
Well, technically LeBron now is in the Hall of Fame. But okay, LeBron. So when you compare LeBron, outside of the scoring, since you're talking about scoring only, has LeBron James done significantly more stuff other than score?
Yes.
Okay. Kareem, same question.
Yes.
Okay. It's the same question for all of them. Karl Malone.
Yes.
Kobe Bryant.
Yes.
Michael Jordan.
Yes.
Dirk.
Yes.
Wilt.
Yes.
You already mentioned Kevin Durant. Shaq.
100% yes.
So he doesn't fall into the category with those guys. So him being a top 10 scorer, again, this is where sometimes stating a factual stat makes you think one thing. But it's, if you look at what those other 9 players did, I'm going to throw KD in there too. They all did significantly more other stuff too. So he's not in the same category as those 9 guys, even though he's 10th in scoring. And then if you go down the list, I'm going to skip active players, right? It's Moses Malone, Elvin Hayes, Hakeem Olajuwon, Oscar Robertson, Tim Duncan, Paul Pierce, John Havlicek, Kevin Garnett. All of those guys who are also in the Hall of Fame, I think they're all in the Hall of Fame. They also did a lot more other stuff, even though.
Sure.
So that's what I'm saying, is him being 10 shows you the thing that, he was a great scorer for a long time. He was a great scorer for a long time. I give him that 100%. But it's not enough.
My issue with him, even though like I said, 28,000 points, that's a big deal, and I care about that.
You got him in. I understand.
What I don't appreciate is I don't appreciate the fact that he got in, and he should have gotten in. The NBA got it wrong with the Hall of Fame got it wrong with Dominique Wilkins, because Dominique Wilkins, when he retired, Tony, it was only 7 guys in NBA history who scored more points than him, and he did not get in as a first ballot Hall of Famer. He should have gotten in, no doubt.
Yeah, he should. Anyways,
first ballot.
Dominique's very disrespected.
Yes,
but Dominique is one of the ones where I tell you, as great as Dominique was and as underrated as people have him, and I recently reposted something where you, I, and Haley talked about the most underrated players, and I said in history it was Dominique. He's one of the ones where, listen, I do one of these. Too bad, because that's how I am. I don't care, but he's very unlucky. He was on really bad teams, right? Like his second best player is like Doc Rivers.
It's not that he was on bad teams, so more than it was like the teams that he was going against, they were just much better. That's all that really was.
Okay, in comparison to his competition, he was on much worse teams. Okay, fair. This one, I do apologize, because I said at the beginning of the show, yes, I said we were going to start at 9. Things changed.
Sorry.
And we started an hour early, but we're still going to go to 10. So we're not going to leave you high and dry. Ask any question, G Cuts, and we'll bump you to the top of the list.
Sorry.
Do you want to stay with basketball? Let's stay with basketball. I know you've been talking a lot about Euro basketball.
I have been. Yes, sir. I have.
So Luka Doncic has been nominated for the Best Defender award. Let me say that again for the people at home.
They didn't hear you in the back, Tom. They didn't hear you.
I got to make sure. Hold on. I got to make sure that this is correct, that I'm reading this right. So let me just take 1 second.
Hey, you know what? I've got this water, and we've got this red version. We got a red bottle, and we got a David Beckham version here. Then we got the blue version.
I got the blue version. Luka Doncic has been nominated for the Best Defender award at Eurobasket 25.
That's absolutely going on, Tone. Yes, that is absolutely going on. And here's the thing that I think that this needs to be understood, because I've learned this being around you. One of the things that I found out about my man over here is once you show him something, and once you show him you can do something, that's now his expectation of you. So if you show him that you could do this, he doesn't expect anything less from you than this. So here's Luka now showing us in the Eurobasket tournament, which I have been paying a lot of attention to.
Yeah.
I'm watching Luka. He's getting in a stance, Tone. He's moving his feet. He's actually recovering on defense. Not only is he recovering on defense, he's in the passing lane. Those hands are busy, right? Those feet are moving. He actually looks like a defender. What I saw from Luka in previous seasons was I saw what I'm seeing in the Eurobasket tournament. I saw that in stretches. So like my lady cooks like once a week. That's all I'm getting. No, I'm not getting it every night or even every other night. I get it. I get that meal once a week. The rest of the week, I got to fend for myself. Like I might have to go out and get some fast food. I might have to go in the refrigerator and see what's in there. That's what I got to get. With Luka now in the Eurobasket tournament, showing that he can consistently defend at a high level, I think it's a number of different things, Tone. One, I think there's a different level of pride when you play for your international team, especially Europeans. I think it's a different level of pride when they do that. Giannis is evidence.
I would just interrupt and say everybody except Americans.
Everybody except Americans.
No, it's true, and that's not a shot.
I don't know if I'll argue that. No, yeah, it's not. I don't think that. I don't think the Team USA participants. I don't think these guys, as much as they take pride in it, they don't take pride in it nearly as much as those guys overseas do. Like those guys in Turkey, those guys in Slovenia. Like this is their NBA championship to play for their national team. With that being said, I think that these guys take a little bit more pride in playing for their international teams. With them taking more pride in it, with the international game being a little bit different, you see a different player. And Luka showing me that him being able to do this, even in the Eurobasket tournament, him showing me that he can do this. What he's now done is he's now shown me that, yo, I could play defense. I can play defense consistently. I might not be Drew Holiday. I might not be Avery Bradley, right? I might not be Derek White. I ain't that good. But what I can do, I 100% can compete on the defensive level.
I don't need Luka to be an all defensive player.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need him to play defense 3/4 of the game. I don't. You know, there's the old saying, defense wins championships. Well, not in the NBA anymore. And what I need for him, and what I mean by that is, it's not about all the time, all out defense that wins championships. It's getting stops when you need them defense. And so if I can see, hey, we're on a run, right? We're on a 6-0 run, a 7-0 run. Now I got to lock it up and keep that run going for an extra possession or two. So my defense needs to step up. Or they go on a run. Okay, let me clamp down. Let me do the old Duke slap the floor. And, you know, I need him to do that. I need him to play defense in the last 2 minutes of the game. Like, I don't need, if he plays all NBA defense, I'll take it 100%. All I'm saying is I need the crucial stops, the timely stops, and those last, the last 30 seconds, last minute of a quarter. Like, if he gives me the last minute of every quarter and 2 minutes in the fourth, so that's 1, 2, 3, 5 minutes of defense, you will not hear a peep out of me.
Can he shake the tag tone of what
Yes.
he already has?
Yes. Yeah.
Can we get there?
100%. I think because what all he was missing, no one complains about. If you think about it, does anyone complain about Steph's defense? Like, they say it's a flaw in his game and that he gets attacked, but they don't complain. Why? Because you see him, he's not capable, but he puts in effort.
He'll compete.
The complaint about Luka was he didn't always give effort. So as long as he tries, doesn't just stand there and goes, "Ole," go to the basket. I think we'll be fine.
When they played against Utah last season when he was in Dallas and he got the ball thrown right behind his head for the game winner, and that was the guy that he was covering. That was just ridiculous to watch, and I think that just exacerbated the situation of him, being the kind of lackluster defender. And to my point, Tone, that he, again, playing for an international team, there's a lot more pride in it. And more importantly, and I don't think that we can understate this, but the fact that he got himself in better shape, and the fact that he got himself in better shape,
huge.
I think that I feel like what that does for not just him, I feel like what that does for you, Tone, and your Laker people, as I think that gives you guys a sense of, one, stability, a sense of pride, and anticipation. Because with him getting himself in better shape, you see what he's doing in the Eurobasket tournament. James sees that. He's already going to come into camp in great shape. DeAndre Ayton is in a money year. This is one of the few years that we've seen Vando actually working out in the summer, not rehabbing an injury. I'm actually working on my game. You get Marcus Smart, who now is coming over to your unit. So you now have wing defenders. In addition to what Luka is doing, you have Rui running the lane. This gives I feel like the anticipation for what the Lakers can be, watching Luka, I think it's already been there, but watching Luka do what Luka's doing, I think it goes from here to there. I think it goes even higher.
Let's just look at our Laker jerseys for a little bit. Okay. I'll stop now. It is. Oh, excuse me. If all things work out, there is an opportunity for this team to make a run. So I'm going to stick with Euro basketball. I want to read you. I'm going to read you the quote. Right. Until now, I thought Joel Embiid was the best big man I played with, but it's Sengun now. Defensively and offensively, I think he's a special kid.
I think he is too. And I think that that's a lot of praise considering. And he's another one. What is he, 23 years old, Tom? He's not one of those, he's not one of those seasoned guys that's, 25, 26, 27 years old that, the clock's really ticking. I mean, we still got some time with him. And Tone, this goes back to international play and one, how much more respect these guys have for the international game and how much more pride they take in being awesome in the international game. So Korkmaz, when he was playing with Joel Embiid, he's playing with a Joel Embiid who is a bucket getter. He's playing with Joel Embiid who was a glass cleaner and a defender. But the offense was ran through him. With the offense being run through him, that's all that he really did. Like, he was responsible for almost everything that's not all he did. Let me rephrase that. He was responsible for almost everything that they were doing in Philadelphia when Korkmaz was there. But a lot of it was buckets. They ran their offense through him. He wasn't the distributor that, in terms of a high-level distributor, he was primarily their bucket getter when they're running their offense through him. They ran dribble handoffs, things like that. With Sengun is a guy who is a bucket getter, but he's also looking to pass, looking to make plays, looking to get downhill, looking to keep the defense honest. And because of the international game, where there's so much more action off the ball and your wheels have to be turning and you got to see the game a couple of steps ahead, as opposed to if I'm getting the ball and you're just looking for me to score like Joel Embiid was doing. I think that enhances everybody else's game, which is why Korkmaz, he would see Sengun playing off of him makes him so much better. That's why I think he would see him like that.
When healthy, not what Sengun could be, what he is today. Will you sit here in front of all these people and say Sengun is better than Joel Embiid?
No,
okay.
I won't say that because
that's what I thought. Okay, moving on. Let's talk. We're going to talk some money. We're going to do some NFL news, and then we're going to send out the link. As we promised, we'd give a link for half an hour. So let's start with my favorite topic. That's the new. You will see this on my board here. This board. Here comes the money. Will definitely be a part of it. The NBA Board of Governors, including Steve Ballmer, will meet today in New York, where the recent claims against him, the LA Clippers, and Kawhi Leonard are to take center stage. For those that don't know, there is a report brought up by Pablo Torre, who basically claims that a fraudulent, I don't know if that's a claim, that I think that's been proved, but a fraudulent tree planting company conned, according to Steve Ballmer, him out of $50 million, to which they coincidentally put $2 in their pocket and gave $48 million to Kawhi Leonard to not plant some trees.
I'm sorry, Tom. Keep going.
For context, what we know here in Toronto is that Uncle Moneybags, that's Kawhi's representation, asked the Toronto Raptors if they wanted Kawhi to stay and sign with the Raptors, they needed to give him ownership stake in the Toronto Maple Leafs, thinking that would not be a problem with the CBA, not realizing that it was the same company that owned both. But anyways, it's an ownership stake in the Toronto Maple Leafs, $10 million, I believe, a private jet, and a condo, to which the Raptors said no and sent him on his merry way.
Shut your damn mouth.
He then made a similar request to the Los Angeles Lakers, who told him to
shut your damn mouth.
And now the Clippers, billionaire owner, just want to put this out there, the billionaire owner of the Clippers wants us to believe that he got conned into giving a company $50 million And 48 of that million went to Kawhi Leonard, and there was no coincidence that he signed with the Clippers. If that's the case, Steve Ballmer, call me up. I've got some swampland in Florida that you'll absolutely love. What a load of, pardon my French, shit from the Clippers organization.
I'm sorry I'm laughing, Tone, but I'm laughing in rage. And the reason why I'm laughing in rage is because like they really think we are this dumb. Right? They really think, go to bed. They really think we are this dumb. And I'm thinking to myself, wait a minute, man. Let me make sure I'm understanding this correctly. And the reason why I'm saying this to you guys is because my man over here is a businessman. Let's be clear about that 100%. My man over here is a businessman, and things have to make sense for him, business-wise, in order for us to do it. Not Carmelo Anthony, Kawhi Leonard. I play professional basketball, and I want to make sure that the term professional is amplified. I'm a pro. Like, I play for money. So if I am leaving money on the table and I'm going to do this somewhere else, why am I going to do this somewhere else? Because you're going to make it worth my while. It wasn't that Toronto just said, no, we're not doing any of this, because there were things that they were willing to honor. Sure. There were things that they were willing to go, there were things that they were willing to do. They weren't able to meet all of his demands. Like, I heard about the condo. They were down to do that. They were definitely down to do that.
The whole city told Kawhi he gets to eat for free anywhere.
You ain't got your money is good nowhere around here. Anywhere you come, you walk in a grocery store, you walk into a restaurant, your money ain't no good in here, my man.
You go to Soto for a steak, it's on the house. That's a $500.
Your money ain't no good here.
$500
your
steak.
Money is no good here, my man. Nope. Get him what he want. That's it. With that being said, if I'm leaving that, in addition, Tone, to the $40 million that I'm leaving on the table in an NBA contract for the Toronto Raptors, you have to make this worth my while. Because it's not just going to be, yo, I'm coming home. I just want to go home. No, that's not good business. I understand, because a lot of these guys that work in cold weather cities, that play in cold weather cities, they have homes in warm weather cities. They live in Houston. They live in Florida. They live in California, right? They live in places where it's warm. So I'm not going home just because I want to go home. No, that's just not smart business. You have to make sure that you make this worth my while. So Steve Ballmer, who I'm listening to him talk to me about this, you know what he sounds like, Tone? He sounds like a drug dealer that got robbed. And now he want to report this. That's what he sounds like. Y'all got robbed. Okay, let's not take away from what you were intending to do. Okay, you were trying to circumvent the salary cap.
100%.
With all this stuff, and I don't want to get long-winded here, Tone. With all of this stuff, you being a businessman, you can appreciate this. When you are making a deal with somebody, the part that I'm looking at, the most important part, in addition to the money, is the termination of the contract. How do we terminate this contract? Like, what can cause me to rip this contract up? A clause in the contract, Tone, is if he's no longer playing for the Clippers, we can rip this thing up. Tone, last I checked, Adidas ain't dropping James Harden because he don't play for the Houston Rockets no more. That's not the way that works. Nike is not dropping James because he ain't in Cleveland. That's not the way that works. And I'm very much offended by Steve Ballmer because he really thinks that I'm stupid.
And that's the worst part. That's the worst part is the arrogance to think I got caught, but you're so dumb I could talk my way out of it. You're cooked. And not only should he lose the team, they should lose significant money, draft picks. Like I would, they can't. They should reverse trades that occurred because of it. Like they should lose their next 6 first-round picks. 3 of them should go to Toronto. 2 of them should go to the Lakers. Maybe 1. Those were the teams that were in contention that they up. For sure, Toronto. Like the team that lost in this the most was Toronto. But 100%, he should lose the team. They should like this should set this team back to so far back that they pack up their shit, close down that horrible stadium, and move to Seattle?
Okay, so first of all, Tone, number one, it sounds to me like you saying that they go back to being the Clippers again.
They're the Braves. I think you mean the Braves. You never moved from being the Braves. You've always been the Braves. But you can't move them to Buffalo. Seattle needs a team.
Okay, here's what I don't want, Tone. I don't want, okay, my car was stolen. I don't want your car. I want my car back. How about that? I'm not interested in the Clippers. Steve Ballmer, you had an opportunity to do that up here in Seattle, but he didn't do it, unfortunately. But I just feel like the whole arrogance of this situation and Steve Ballmer talking to us like we are dumb. And ladies and gentlemen, if you're listening at home, my man is a businessman. Tone, when you're dealing in business and there's an issue and we have, quote unquote, the FBI involved in this, all of this stuff, who do people need to talk to? Who do those people need to talk to in the FBI?
Oh, they follow the money.
And they follow the money. And when they follow in the money, who should they be talking to instead of you? Who are you pointing them in the direction of?
I'm not clear on your question.
Okay. Y'all want to talk to me. You know who you want to talk to? You want to talk to my lawyer. I'm zipping it up.
Oh.
You ain't getting a word out of me. Steve Ballmer, get off television.
That's what you meant.
Ballmer,
you shouldn't have heard a peep out of him. There should have been a statement. There should have been a statement that came out from the lawyer that said, we're unaware of this situation. We're going to investigate it internally. We're going to come out with a statement as soon as we get all the facts and details. And shut your damn mouth.
And any other questions?
Let me rephrase.
Shut your damn mouth.
Thanks, Rock.
100%. And any other questions? Talk to my lawyer.
Yeah, 100%.
I don't have anything else to say.
Yes,
nothing.
Yes.
You know what I'm not doing, Tone? I'm not getting in front of a camera with what's her name? Shelburne.
Yeah. Shelburne.
I'm not going to get in front of a camera with her.
Ramona Shelburne.
Ramona Shelburne. I'm not going to get in front of a camera with her and start talking. I don't think so. No. Talk to my lawyer. You ain't got. I don't have anything to say about
because he believes. Listen, and some people will agree with him. I'm a billionaire, so I'm smarter than you. No, you're a billionaire because you're smarter at some things. There's something you were smarter at. It happened to be tech, and you made some good deals, and there was some luck involved, and you became a billionaire. But when you come out and say I got conned by some dudes that plant trees, you sound real stupid. Forget how stupid you think I am. You sound real stupid. The gardener came up to me and conned me out of $50 million. Could you imagine?
No, Tone. No.
All right. We're short of time, so we got. Listen, well, I do want to get your take though. What do you think, other than draft picks, money, their salary cap should be 50% of everybody else's? Like, what is that? Is there something else you think?
I think that what happened with Minnesota, I think that's the precedent. I think that that's going to happen to the Clippers. I think that they're going to
with the Joe Smith stuff.
Yes, I think they're going to. They tried to circumvent the draft. I mean, they tried to circumvent the salary cap.
So
I think that they're going to lose a bunch of draft picks. I think that Steve Ballmer's going to have to write a check. Don't listen to none of that nonsense, Tone, about them reversing these trades. And no, that's not.
No, that won't happen. But they could say Kawhi Leonard's a free agent.
They could do that,
and he can't sign with the Clippers. They could void his contract. That would be interesting.
See
who would take him. His uncle would probably go back to him and say, "Hey, this is what I want." The same deal I got with the Clippers, and start the whole cycle again. Is there there is a super chat? So no, there's not a super chat, but there's a chat that I want to say. Whose legacy is getting tarnished more? Okay, that's a boxing thing. We're going to do it in a second. I do want to address this. Why Chill's jersey say 24? He's a Braun guy because 24 was his number. That's why the number is 24. That being said, though, I don't know that you noticed. I'm going to show this. Can you look and see the pictures? There's pictures next to the jerseys. Can you recognize anybody in those pictures?
That's you, Tone.
Yeah, and who's on the other side?
I don't think that's me.
Oh, it's 100% you. I found some old photos of our playing days, bro.
That is not me, Tone. No way.
100%. It is 100% you.
What?
It's
where was that at?
Check. Let's see if I can.
Let's see if we can get a close up on that. because I'm not sure if that's.
Hold on. Wait a minute.
Uh-oh.
I need to get a bigger version of this, but
Yeah.
let's see. It's not. Maybe I'll zoom in, but hold on here. Let me.
Yeah. See if you could zoom in on that a little bit. I don't know.
I know. I know it is you, but hold on.
Mhm.
Hold on.
Hang on for a second. Tone dug up some old photos of me.
Is this one here? Is that not you?
That is not me, Tone. No, sir.
Really? It says your full name.
That's another one.
Oh,
that's not me, though. That is not me, sir.
Sure?
That is not me. Saratoga? No, that is not me. Nope, that's the wrong one, Tone. Sorry, brother.
I was gonna use this one. That's you, right?
Now that is 100%. Wow. That was in that's in Florida. I was a freshman in college. That's me, my man Jimmy Smith, and my man Pete. We were in a tournament down here in Florida in Ocala. That's crazy. Wow.
You never had that Saratoga jersey on?
Never. Nah, sir.
Yeah. Is that what it is?
This Instagram one, where does that even come from, Tom?
It says it's you.
And Instagram.
Chilltown 32. My man Chilltown Hoops, and so they must have put your face on it, because I'm telling you, you can't see it on this. When you see it close up, it is your face. It is this exact same me. That's Saratoga. Crazy. Are you sure you didn't play like an invitational or something?
Saratoga? No, I don't. That is not me.
Even the newspaper clipping has your name in it.
Senior sets record. Yeah, that's not me, Tone. I don't know. Saratoga. That's in upstate New York. That's not me.
Wow. Okay. Well, I'll find it. I'll have to find. Oh, oops. We haven't been on camera for a long time. I will have to find another one of you and replace it, but I thought it would be kind of cool. But okay. All right. All right. Well, you got half of it right, because I know that one's me. All right. So quickly, last NBA thing. We're going to do quick fire and NFL news. And then I'm going to send the clip not the clip. I'm going to send the link right now. And I'm going to continue to find old photos of Chill. So I want you to just look at this. It's a video. I don't think there's any sound to it. But basically there's a story here. Jimmy Butler, thinks, who cares what he thinks? The point of the article, however, is I want you to see how it says fade away world. And there's this story about basically Jimmy Butler saying all this nasty stuff. And I'm going to play it again. Actually, I'll pause it so I can read it. Jimmy Butler thinks the Mavericks hid details about Luka Doncic's Lakers trade. There's always more to it. Okay. And there's this whole article, and it's written by this guy who says his name is something. And he is a reporter for an NBA analyst for Fadeaway World.
I know where this is going.
You know where it's going? Because I see people find articles from places like this. And they use them and they quote them. And I just, as a public service announcement, I want you to know these types of articles, okay, are not real. And there's a quick way that you can discover if they're real or not, or just know as you're reading them. When they say stuff like sources tell us, but they don't cite any source, reports are, okay, and you go look through that whole entire webpage for Fadeaway or others like it. It's all fake. It's fugazi. It's a article farm that is typically written like by AI, ChatGPT. Now, is the guy's face real? Maybe. It could also be fake. It's completely fake. It's not real news. It's not true articles. That guy is a beat reporter in India who does not know anybody and I did research on him in particular, but I've done this multiple times now to tell you, they don't have any sources in the NBA who give them inside information, and they post these articles, and then people take them and they start using them as facts. It's fake.
it's fake.
It's fake. I'm not talking about real reputable newspapers. That's different. Or now it's online. I shouldn't say newspapers, because those have some validity to them. But even those, I was having a thing. There's a guy on Twitter, a little tiny fish in the big sea there, who like a lot of times he posts these news articles.
Yeah,
he has this thing against Michael Jordan, and he posts these news articles that see, look at all these lies, look at all this fake stuff, and I'm like, using news articles isn't a fact. And he goes, yes, it is. This is a reputable news company. I'm like, no, but a newspaper I wrote the newspaper article.
Right.
It's my opinion. And I wrote it so that I would sell more newspapers, because that's how I make my money.
Right.
So it's like you going on Twitter and typing in something because you want to get views, because that's how you get paid. It doesn't make it true. It's just my opinion. And I think young people really have a hard time understanding that. They think
because they think that because you wrote something and it's public record, that it's automatically true. That's not the way that works.
Well, that would mean every tweet is true. That would mean every tweet is true. So I thought that was interesting. All right, let's get to the news. I'm going to start with your squad, if you're okay with that.
Let's do it.
But I'll tell you, Speaking of your squad, let's talk about my squad real quick.
Let's do that.
How embarrassing are the Chicago Bears? Maybe almost as bad as the Baltimore Ravens.
I turned that game off, Tom. I stopped watching because I thought that they won. I thought the game was over. And I saw it on the news the next morning. I saw it on SportsCenter that they lost. I was like, what? They was up 2 touchdowns with 4 minutes. They came back and beat them. No way.
They were down 21 in the fourth quarter. And
yes, they were down 14 with 4 minutes. I thought that game was over. But
the Bears looked like they were going to dominate and then they just collapsed. But let's stick to the news. George Kittle will be out for a few weeks. Well, is it big news?
No, not big news. But I mean, I think this hamstring injury is going to have him out for a month. But Pearsall has actually been really good. Scantlin, the fact that we got him back for Brandon Ayuk, I'm worried about our offense, because contrary to popular belief, as good as Purdy is at throwing the football, because he makes some really good throws, but the bad ones, Tone, they're exactly that. They're just bad throws. And I watch our offense, and as much as I watch our offense, Tone, we can't keep giving the ball to Christian McCaffrey every other down. That's not going to work. I mean, I know that I know he's our workhorse back, but I said this to you already, Tone. What we got out of Christian McCaffrey 2 years ago when he led the league in rushing, that's it.
Yeah,
I think we're going back to Christian McCaffrey from Carolina, the one that's banged up. I'm expecting, of these 17 games, Tone, I'm hoping that I get 12 games out of him. I'm hoping.
Well, 12 is the exact number I was thinking. I kid you not.
I'm hoping I can get 12 games out of him this season. Hoping that.
This is my favorite one. I don't think he should have got anything.
Suspension served.
So Jalen Carter spit on Dak Prescott. Couldn't happen to a nicer guy. I hate the Cowboys. So he got suspension served. So the game he missed is all that he's gonna miss. And he gets I think there's a $57,000 fine.
That sounds like a game check, Tone. If I'm being honest.
No, not even. That sounds like the taxes on half a game check. Is that too much? Not enough? Do you care? Like,
I just think what you don't get is, you don't get in trouble for being dumb. And I think that he got in trouble for being dumb. And that was just stupid on his part, right? So I'm comfortable with the 1 game. I would have been comfortable with 2 games. That's as far as I was going. That's because, like, you don't do that. You don't spit on somebody. No. That's the ultimate disrespect when we're talking about spitting on somebody. And no, I'm not doing that. Not at all.
All right. Well, let's you know what I'm going to do? All right, you ready? This isn't his official intro, but it's maybe it will become his official intro.
All my fellas,
$0.02.
What up? What up?
What's good, fellas?
What up?
Plug for the
Yeah.
merch and the music.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. Yeah, hey, we'll start real quick with we'll start with the Hall of Fame with Carmelo. Are we in agreement that Carmelo should have been first team Hall of Fame ballot, or
You ain't gotta convince me.
For this Hall of Fame? No, for this Hall of Fame, yes. For this Hall of Fame, yes. Because of what he did. Because of what he did in Syracuse, because of what he did for the Olympics, and because of what he did in the NBA, kind of all collectively, yeah, 100%. 100%.
Oh, okay. So we're not in disagreement on that part because I was looking at the list. I was like, no, you was talking about the extraordinary things. It takes something extraordinary. That's why Russ had won the MVP that year, because it's not that people scored and did this and they was winning. He didn't have the best team or nothing like that. But guess what? He did some extraordinary things. So that can, bump you over the top, at that time. Now, if you get a triple double now, it's kind of a little bit watered down. But yeah. But let me say this other part. Oh, unless y'all were about to say something.
I'm listening to you.
I actually want to quickly just say something. Yeah, that's a game check. No, it's not. He makes $5.5 million divided by 17 is about 320. My math is on average 320,000 a game. Go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, he did this. Russ did his thing, man. I'm not a fan of his, of his game. He a little J.R. Smith to me. But here's the thing I want y'all to say. I'm glad we ain't got thousands of people in here. I ain't trying to get my door knocked on. Is when it comes to these sports. I quit watching some sports because of I understand the psychology of it, and it's still a business. And we sit here and debate all day about it. We know what's going on, and I ain't trying to wreck y'all channel us, that type of deal about what goes on behind. I mean, it's really a lot of WWE type of stuff, and its powers to be. It's crazy.
You think a lot of this stuff is orchestrated? Do you think a lot of this stuff is basically staged?
Oh yeah, definitely. Because at the end of the day, they figured out a while ago that it's entertainment, and I can orchestrate what can go on by either the referee or the coach. If I can control that, I'm like, man, I'm not getting. That's why I don't gamble or none of that stuff. So I don't have a dog in the fight, but I can see and witness stuff going on. I'm like, dang, that was crazy. Why'd they do that? But it's still entertaining. That don't mean I'm not gonna watch it. I watch movies. I know that's not real. I can listen to music. I know the rappers talk about something that's not really genuine. You think they don't do that in the entertainment business with this football, basketball, and all these other sports? It's a different thing. I'm older now. Now that I understand it, I'm like, man, don't get too caught up in he should be able to do this. Yeah, I mean, would you think of Wemby? He's 7'4" or whatever.
Yep.
You think that you think he would just kill people? I mean, dominate people down low. Man, he's shooting 3-pointers. I mean, come on, bro. I was like, man, this is entertainment. Don't get too caught up in it.
But since that's
the
what
real
the game
sports
is,
thing.
though.
Do you know what the E in ESPN stands for?
Say again.
Do you know what the E in ESPN stands for?
You say, do I know what ESPN stand for?
Sure.
E in ESPN.
The E.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We gotta trust me. Me and you and Chill. We got an understanding of what's going on. I ain't trying to wreck. It's Santa Claus, man. I ain't trying to do that to people.
I'm just saying.
No.
For those that don't know, the E. Well, ESPN stands for Entertainment.
Yes.
Production Network. Entertainment. Right. Sports Production Network. It's entertainment.
That's all it is. That's all it is. So that's why I say I know real competition. If me and you was over here and we did something, I know it's not orchestrated by something else going on. But when you in that realm, you have to abide by their rules, man. You a peon, and I ain't trying to. You like I say, it's like telling on. Hey, it's not really a Santa Claus. Spider-Man is not real, and that's what you're doing to a lot of adults. And it's okay, but because I still can watch it and I can enjoy the entertainment.
Yeah, but here's the thing though, because what it sounds to me, since like it's almost
Yes,
like it's almost like the WWE in a sense that
right.
you're telling me about, which what it does is it reduces what my work is. Like I'm
Right.
working hard to be a basketball player. I work hard to be good at basketball. And now you're telling me that this whole thing, no matter how hard I work, this thing is staged. This isn't, and me being a former basketball player, I have a difficult time with that because I know what it takes to be really good at basketball. And to think that, all the work that I'm putting in, it really doesn't matter, my man, because in the end, like we already know who's going to win. We already know who's going to put this thing together. We already know what you're going to be able to do, what you're not going to be able to do. That's so disheartening.
No, I understand, Chill, because I play sports. I was pretty good in sports as well, like that. But what I'm saying to you is not that you're not strong, you're not fast. You have to be a willing participant. No different from you got to play a role in Hollywood. I mean, it's not your show. It's not your show. At the end of the day, either you do it or you don't. Get out the league. This is our thing. This is what we're doing. This is how we're making money. That's all it is.
I suppose.
Yeah, it won't basketball. It won't a lot of basketball. I wanted to do the basketball thing, but I shouldn't have brought that part up. But yeah. But you cleared up the Hall of Fame stuff or whatever. It's cool. It's cool.
I think you're right, but I wished you were wrong about the entertainment piece. Stick around. I'm just going to go to another topic real quick, but stick around if you want to come back on, and I'll send the link out again if anybody else wants to jump on because we got 10 minutes. I do want to talk about this one because I forgot. Whose legacy is getting tarnished more by taking this fight, Mike Tyson or Floyd Mayweather?
First and foremost, it's not going to happen. Let's get to the bottom of that.
Oh, you don't think it's gonna happen?
Mike Tyson is not getting in the ring with Floyd Mayweather. No, Floyd Mayweather, I think it's 5'6" and like 160 pounds. He's not getting in the ring.
You don't think they're gonna go have a glorified sparring session?
No, they're not, because Floyd Mayweather too small for that. Mike Tyson doesn't know how to play nice. You saw he almost.
No, he pulled his punches so many times on Jake Paul.
Man, and that's the same thing with
and he admitted he got paid to lose, right?
I'm sure he did. I didn't know that, but I'm sure he did. He could have, first and foremost, watching him.
Even at 100 years old, he could knock that kid's head off.
I'm watching him fight Jake Paul, and I'm watching him pull back his punches going, oh, I'm sorry, because I could have been dropped him. Just so you guys know, this isn't something that was going on for 8-9 rounds. On top of that, it was just a disgrace to watch. So now you want to put Mike Tyson in the ring with Floyd Mayweather, who's 5'6", maybe 160 pounds, and Mike Tyson is a heavyweight, and you're saying that this is going to be staged. What is this going to be staged for? You guys want to see a fight. You're not going to see a fight. That's why nobody's going to watch that. No. So I don't think it's going to happen. No. So I don't think anybody's legacy is going to get tarnished.
If it did happen, whose career would it tarnish more, if anyone's?
Well, it wouldn't tarnish Mike Tyson's career because Mike Tyson is in the entertainment business now more than anything. He's doing movies, right? He's doing...
And he already lost to Jake Paul. I think he defeated Floyd Mayweather, right?
Right. Like if Floyd Mayweather
can't hold it back one time and he hits him, he might die.
Him. Nah, we don't want that. We do not want that. Hell no.
I think it tarnishes his a little bit.
Yes.
I want to read something to you. And guys, the link is there if you want to jump on. I was in, I sometimes go down these rabbit holes when I'm like on a lunch break and, I do things that I shouldn't do. And I get into these like debates with stupid people, and it's just fun for me because I laugh. I'm sitting there typing away, laughing, or actually I don't even type anymore. I just say what I'm going to say. So they're like, "Who types like that?" I'm like, I don't know. I just voice command it because typing on my phone. Anyways, and so I got into this with one person, and then he went to bed because he's a moron, and then the other guy took over, and he says, this is a negative towards Michael Jordan's career, and he said somebody stole Hakeem Olajuwon's 1985 Rookie of the Year award. Have you seen it around here anywhere? Hakeem's team won 48 games that year, a 20-game improvement from 1984. LOL. Guess which negative team only won 38 games that year? MVP and Rookie of the Year are about team success, wins, exclamation point. Which said player caused? Hakeem improved his team's wins by 20 games from 1984, but guess who only won 38 games by being a greedy, selfish ball hog? I say, that's cool. So by your logic, Carmelo Anthony should have been Rookie of the Year over LeBron James because they both had 17 wins the previous year. LeBron carried his team, I believe, to 35, and Carmelo's team won 43. Correct. So Carmelo should clearly be the Rookie of the Year over your king, LeBron James.
Correct.
I haven't heard a peep since.
And you're not going to hear a peep, Tone.
And he was going, just so you know, he was going every 5 seconds was sending a message. Like I could show you, like it's insane how often he was messaging. I could actually probably show you. Like he was going, this is all him. Like, and then the second I said that, and there's still more, by the way. I stopped scrolling. Like there's still more. It's all him. And he was going and going and going and going and going. The second I asked that question, it has now been 6 hours.
Nothing.
And I was having fun. I don't know what to tell you.
Crickets.
I even invited him to come on the show. But these guys, you know, Shane, if anyone follow, he goes on Twitter, it's Shane. And on both sides, Apex Jones, who's the Jordan guy, Myth Nick, all of these guys are in there doing like just one trick ponies. Boom, boom. So, hey, come on the show.
Come on over. Yeah,
come on the show, show your face. Let's have a discussion. I want to see if you actually know basketball, if you're just like clipping stuff and sending it up. Never. Why would I want to come on your little rinky-dink show for?
Of course you wouldn't, because the reason why you wouldn't want to come on is because you don't want to get exposed for who you really are. Somebody that doesn't actually know basketball. It's easy.
That's why I appreciate these guys who do come. I do.
Yes, it's easy. It's easy to get the Twitter fingers, right? It's easy.
Twitter fingers. Oh, I like that.
It's easy to get the Twitter fingers. It's easy to do it when you're stitching something. But when I actually got to sit across from this dude and I got to explain myself, and then he rebuts what I said. Then I have to say something now on top of him rebutting what I just said. Now it gets a little bit trickier. It's not as easy as being able to sit behind a screen and I don't got to worry about you responding for 20 minutes. I don't got to worry about you responding for half an hour.
You just walk away. You could just walk away from the conversation and whatever.
I'm getting confronted right there, and I have to defend myself, and I have to defend my stance. It's way different than when I don't even have to respond to you. When I don't, when you type something,
I love it. I love it because I always I always set them up. I will give them a nugget. I'll say stuff so that's I think this, and I go, cool. So then by that logic, if you believe A, like let's use that example, it's whoever wins the most games to it. Well, then you have to believe B. Well, no, that's different.
Here we go.
Well, what do you mean? Why is it? One
of the things I always use is with the 6-0 logic. Okay, with the 6-0 logic, when you tell me that Jordan won 6 NBA championships and he was the best offensive player on the team and he was the best scorer. Okay, well, Bill Russell won 8 NBA championships in a row, and they were winning NBA championships with him being the best defensive player. That's got to matter.
No, because that's defense.
Well, wait a minute. But Jordan had more responsibility. Okay, well, so did Bill Russell. He had plenty of responsibility. Well, wait a minute. Yes, what I thought. I think we're done here. And it's the Jordan lot. The Jordan argument right? The Jordan James argument is so tired, Tone. I mean, I feel like we're at a point.
I was talking, but here's the thing, even with that, we were talking about something else, and they just always turn it into this GOAT debate. And I'm like, and then like, how disrespectful are you? Where do you have LeBron? 37th? And I'm like, no, I have him second, and by a fraction, like by a fraction of a point. Like, but I am gonna call you out when you lie. Like I said, like we all can agree he choked in 2011. No, he didn't choke. They put a all-time great defender on him, and he shut him down. That's worse.
No, that's not what happened.
Even if that was true, that's worse.
Yeah, that's not what happened. So, yep.
It drives me batty. But anyways, it's time to go. 2 cents. I'm sorry. 2 cents stuck around, but you can jump. Whatever.
It's about that time. You know where to find us at, guys. It is always good to see you guys. Me and my man Tony Tone, we do this every Tuesday night right here on the Sports Fluent Network and the Chilltown Hoops Network every Tuesday night at 8 o'clock. And this is our scheduled time now because my nephew is already on the crew, so we ain't got to worry about that. So my nephew is already on the crew, but you know where to find us. We will see you guys soon. Until then, put on a suit, drink water, don't drink and drive. Hey, man, call your mother. When's the last time you talked to your mother? Call your mother. Talk to you guys soon. But until then, take it light. We take it. Kobe. Kobe. Kobe.
Fluent Chill, yeah, we call it how it's played from the field to the court. Every legend is away. Fourth quarter heat, over 2-minute drill. If you can't handle truth, better chill with the skill. LeBron or MJ.